On page Reish Gimel. I think on page Reish Gimel, like in the bottom of the page, close to the bottom. Man, do you remember what we're up to? Mandy?
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, fine. So okay, so in the Show Maschas Michodim.
Okay, I see it, but I don't remember exactly. Okay.
So what do we finish saying? That La'asid Lava Be'ikar Shleimus, and that's why Be'ikar Mitzvah Tzanech. Then in the Mubin Al-Ik Ayahoya Al-Reish Gimel. Omna in the Mubin Al-Oya Kawasaka Bana the Samik Shemakim Palim Ve'edim V'Chavasim Yechel Be'eshel Ma'ila Ba'li Dachel Korban. We can we say the La'asid that the Mitzvah Tzanech will be up Dafka La'asid Lava, and now it's it calls man. It calls on the we don't have the Gilad. That's when the Sham La'asid Lava. It's not Mitzvah Tzanech or. In what happened was in Mitzamigdosh, the Gemara says that Nichel be'eshel ma'ila ba'ali dechol korban. That there was a special fire that came from above. It looked, it was Aryeh. The fire looked like a lion, and the entire. It means that the Eibishter accepted the korban, and there was a Eshel Ma'ila. I can say it wasn't good Tzanech. I can say that the cover based on Mikdosh was not perfect. That's question number one. How can we say, all along we're saying, the ultimate mitzvah tzanech will be only when Mashiach comes. It will be the Gila of Yechida, be the Gila of the Neshama will be in the highest level, and the Gashmis, everything will be a higher level. So that will be mitzvah tzanech. How can we say that? In the time of Mikdash was Ari Dachal Korban. The Rebbe send down fire from above and consume the korban, which itself is a sign that that he accepts it. So I can say it's not mitzvah.
So we say that by Mashiach, it's going to be like from but automatically, right? Like from above. So here we also have from above.
Yeah, that's one part, right? One of that's automatically, and it says that the ultimate will be. Ragnar said the till Mashiach is not mitzvah tzanech. We see in Beis Hamikdash that the Rebbe accepted it. There was Migil Malmayla. Gam Yedua. That's one question. Yedua sheikh knes aus b'shkim hamitzvos. It is known that the point, the reason why the Eden wanted to come out not to soul because the Shkim hamitzvos. The Arba Hayodis Oya Ba'oretz. I don't know what Arba Hayodis have to do with here.
Where do you want to go out?
What? We page Reish Gimel. What? The bottom of page Reish Gimel. Ika Knisa Sa'ot V'Shakim HaMitzvos. The Arba Hayodis Oya Ba'oretz. I'm not sure what Arba Hayodis means exactly. But he brings
Chamishis Lepare? Is this like
Chamishis Lepare? Yeah, but what does it have to do here? I don't understand the connection point. The question is, why did Moshe Rabbeinu, the Gemara asks the question, why did Moshe Rabbeinu want so much to Moshe Rabbeinu discuss law, it's a period, but they had the time to eat the fruit of the soul. Is it really that important? Elo, so the Gemara answers, Elo, The reason why the comment that is so, so what does that show? That shows, so the expression Abba Muhammad is something. I'm not sure at this point. What? So we see that the entire purpose of coming down to soul is given because he wants to be Mekayim mitzvah Lois Ba'aretz. So it means that the mitzvah Lois Ba'aretz is a very important experience. That's why I want to come to the soul. It's a interesting type of question. It says if we say that the whole mitzvah. What?
Page.
Reish Gimel. Bottom of page Reish Gimel. Reish Gimel. Not Mamish bottom, like 10 lines from the bottom. Gam Yedosh Eknes Haus B'Shlik is my Mazav Chelech on period. So how can we say that when Eden came out to the soul and the whole purpose of coming to the soul, so the mitzvahs, now he's telling us, now we say no, that wasn't really good. The only mitzvahs what the Eibush really wants is going to be lost in love. It wasn't fulfilled. It's like it's an interesting type of question, but
I think I asked this last time, but if Meisha would go, if Takabik lost his love already.
yeah.
Then it would Takabik if it's Tzenecha.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Yeah. So that's a good question, right? Yeah, yes. One second, let's see. Yeah, you're asking a very good question. If Moshe Rabbeinu would have come, then okay, but it's possible. Okay, I don't know how to answer that. A good question, but the point of the question is, I mean, it shows that we all have that question, just in the different words. He puts it in. How can we say, like Danny mentioned that? How can we say that all along, all our Veda that we do, and that was the whole desire of Moshe, everything, all this is not really, it's not the perfect thing. It contradicts our entire view of Avodas Hashem, that to say that all our Veda, all these years, all the Basenu Avedasenu is really not really that question is quite a strong question. The way he puts it here, two questions. Number one, since we say Akavas Rabbanis was Aridach Korbanin, there was a fire came from above the consumer. That the Chayret shows that the Eibishter wants it. How can we say it's not mitzvah tzeinech? Number two, like he says here, the whole purpose of coming to the soul is the mitzvahs. They love in Zeh, so now to explain that, he goes into no discussion. So like I'm trilling in the Kabbalas. So it explains what is really, what is the function, what is the way Kabbalas work. You know, Mforshim Makshon in the Kabbalas, the famous question all the Mforshim ask the Ramban, what how is it possible that the person sins and he does something wrong? That makes then he brings a korban, he burns the korban, the mizbeach. is mechaper on his sins. What's the connection? Why is burning a behemoth mechaper on his sins? So the one explanation says, "In you know the bichlal ikav bonus any body mal shayig or amazing the mitzvah korban bichlal the concept of korban applies to shayig amazing loy mitzvah in the korban." And when you get to amazing, we don't find the concept of korban, like he's going to explain later in the mind the reason for that. And then after the parenthesis says dalet midalet shemavian korban al zon b'shgoga, the Mishnah says that only 4 types of averes, even if you amazing bring a korban in the parentheses he brings from the Mishnah, what increases, what are the 4 things? Abalas shivcha, v'nazar shenitmosh, v'teidish, v'tapikod, because of alagil. And that's on the side of the Hanacha, whoever wrote it, put down a list of all the 4. It's not negay. There's an exception. There's an exception that 4 situations we do bring on Mezid. But the chalal kabon is l'shegeg. In a shegeg, what is the concept of a person doing an avera b'shegeg? Yeah, I mentioned the first time also that because when a person does an avera b'shegeg, he unintentionally forgot something in his pocket, and he went out. So it's unintentional. Any avera. So why does he need be forgiven? It was a mistake. It was unintentional. Doesn't need it. Says the Alter Rebbe in Gersa Kodesh, the fact that he sins even b'shegeg was his gabas nefesh habamis. If the nefesh kiss would be in control, he wouldn't even nefesh habamis the noiga. Noiga is not shosh dubs. It's not an expression of its rebellion. Shosh dubs that means mamish rebellion. Rebellion means he wants to do something b'mezid. He wants to chas v'shalom to rebel against the Eibushal's will. Nefesh habamis the noiga is not the pshat when they rebel. It just he's busy with himself. It's like the klipas nefesh habamis, like it says in Tanya. Its entire interest is in itself. So that causes a person to shegeg, because if nefesh gets to be in control, he will always be mindful of what he's doing, and he will be in control. But because he lacks that full control of nefesh gifts, nefesh habamis is misgaber, and we can do it avera b'shegeg. Mele. But he goes to a shtichel discussion. In Ksiv and Shabbos and Sisi, like Tanya, it says in Tanya Perikala. Rebuilding the Meshakotz Ahav, Ksiv Kol Yishitzol Yesh Ben Nefesh Gis Nefesh Habamis, Ksiv and Shabbos and Sisi, Shesh Ben the first Gis Nefesh Habamis, Nefesh Gis Halakam Mamash, Nasat Salman Moshe Ma'al, Dan Man Shalakis. Nefesh Gis is that level of that neshama, which is Bedug Moshe Ma'al. Dug Moshe Adam El Shalakis, Adam El. Nefesh habamis, brings in, I don't know why Punk brings in there now, but okay, so brings in the few lines from Tanya, the point that Nefesh habamis is from Noig. So again, so shegeg means, what does shegeg represent? Person sins unintentionally, what does it mean? It means that Nefesh habamis is in control. His own, not that he is... not he's evil, but it comes from so to speak, self-centeredness. So that's called noiga. It's its own being. That creates shegeg. So that explains, in a way, that explains the question he asked before. What's the reason? What's the logic? If a person doesn't have he brings a korban and kapara. What's the connection? It says, take a behema kosher behema. So the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanit, all the kosher items in this world also come from Klippas Noiga because they're in a state of neutral. Then they're kosher, but they're not a mitzvah, so they're neutral. They're not connected to the Eibush, but they're done to rebel against the Eibush. So that's not why they said. So the concept of makrivin beim, I mean, to take a beim and to make it into a mitzvah and burn it. There's a nasa bir the noiga. So you fix your action creates a repair in the world of noiga. And the V'meila, that explains in a way of the Kabbalah why is it called? Because you Taver, the result of noiga, then you elevate noiga. So that's like a spiritual in the spiritual sense. You understand what happened. But when a person sins v'shegeg means that the people's noiga took him over. The nefesh habahamis controlled them. It's gavos nefesh habahamis. So what does he do? He takes the behemoth from noiga and he elevates noiga. He elevates that aspect of him. On a deeper level, you know, then there's even a deeper way to explain it. So that's a more elaborate way to explain the concept of korbanos. That all the behemoth shoshim itoyu, the behemoth, its source, its root is from a madrega of toyu, which is above tikkun. That beer of the behema is mvar noiga. You take away the shell that covers the earth of toyu. That is the function of, you explained in two layers of Kabbalah. What's the reason that the korban fixes the sin? Number one, not only Noiga to its source, which is above tikkun b'meila, when you come to a place which is above tikkun, so the oil which is above tikkun repairs the b'gam, the blemish that happened to the chet.
I thought this is the all one.
What?
I thought they are both one explanation because the first one, that fact that it's a noga, the fact that behemoth is noga. So how does it help? So you microwave with behemoth is noga when you're not sure is also noga. Therefore, why the behemoth is gonna, which is noga and noga. So therefore what? You know what I'm saying? That's it. I thought it's all both one because saying that because the shorish is from the tohu, therefore that's why I think that's what we learned the first time. That's how we learned the first time. Not that they're two. Huh?
Really?
That's the way I understood it, because if it's noga and noga, so therefore it doesn't make any.
Really? Why are you saying that? Okay, maybe I'm not clear on that, but you can say basically, you can say that you elevate the water by maybe elevate the water of noiga. You elevate it, you fix it. So that
How does behemoth fixes it?
because the behemoth represents noiga, and you elevate the behemoth, elevate nefesh habahamis, so you get out of these gavus. Becomes part of it. It's consumed by other kus. All right. I mean, I'm not sure
The second one sound more powerful because
what?
it's the toyu. So the toyu is mevar the noiga. It is higher than Tikkun.
Okay, the second, yeah, I understand the second one. Okay, you said that. Okay.
No, but I don't think there is two. Read it again. שעל ידי הקרבת הבהמה, ובגלל משיח חורש התוהו, שהבהמה שורש. I don't think it's two. I don't see why we're saying there are two. It's all one. It's just explanation of why the noga of behema.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna argue. Okay, fine. Maybe you're right. So he says the same thing. All right. No, I didn't. Okay, you didn't look up the other places this thing is discussed. The reason because I said the only reason I think it's second because it says V'yado gam kain, like it's a nifat. Okay, I'm not sure what. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's the only point. Fine. But now he says more important thing. In order to elevate the behemoth, the toyu, there has to be something pshet as machatchila. It's not enough that you elevate the world around you. To start with yourself. Adorn yourself before you go affect others. That's a pshat as machatchila. The zayim mashabakom is always tshuva. So it wasn't enough that you bring the korban and you malen it to the there has to be also tshuva. And the bill is, how's the bill to Shema Mavar, and that's misguided to tshuva. Shazarian Adam Kiyakiv, that's my rumors in the pasuk that we started the Maimah with Adam Kiyakiv, the Adam Gimatay Ma. It's another for the to make the bill and the behema has to be straight answer number one, the bill of Nasharamis. It has to be the gil of Shema. Chain, so brings in all people about it. Chain. That is the reason why we find that korbanos must be in Dafka specific location. Mishkan and Mikdash. Why? Chutz Mishkan ain't makriv. You're not allowed to be makriv chutz Mishkan. Why? And then Mishkan Ma. Mishkan is the gil of Shem Mak. Mishkas Bezel Elab Kodei Mishkan Doaz the Chachmasa. Zayah in the Parashat Kodei says that Elab Kodei Mishkan Doaz the Chachmasa, which is Shem Mak. So we see here that the Eifna bill is only in a specific gil. We have to be a specific madriga l'melmayim. So explain. That's connected to learn in other places. Shina tshuva dafka be'lamazeh. Yeah, I think I mentioned this is the mime earlier in the sefer. We learned the whole mime about this concept. Tshuva is dafka be'lamazeh. I think the mime of Pinchas. Why? Because we all know that tshuva can be in the mazah. Person after a person passes away without tshuva, they can't fix it in a mabah. One is the explanation of Chassidus brings that we learned, like I said in the Maimah of Pinchas. Actually, the Maimah learning now was said before Pinchas, but we learned more about Pinchas in that Maimah that the Dafkan Elam Hazeh, we get, here it is. A second. Page Kuf Memtef. Zaydin Atshuva by the Mazah Dafka. The Mazah yesh kayach habitul, but here that's what Lashon says here. But here it says because the Mazah is meir yasev kolam. Yidosh yasev aseve ein mislabish b'pchinas pnimius tzad yasev melubash b'pchinas makif. I'm sorry, jumped. Not sure that the Mazah. The last man said the be'elam abein actors from Malkalam. I think be'elam Mazah may have said Kalam. Movosham, and the Mamam that discuss this concept is explained. The same Kalam is Shem Ma. The same idea we just said Shem Ma. Ein Mashma Makif Laban. The Kabbalah, the Madrig of Ma is Makif to the between of Ban, that's what's called cervical almond. Gam Shema, the Prince Pnimius Malchus, if you Shema, Prince Chachma, Chachma Shah himself, Shah a circle almond. I mean, yeah, you know, these things, the language changes. Ma is considered pnimius. The pnimius means versus chitzonius. In Malchus Guf, Ma is pnimius and Ban is chitzonius. But Ma comes from really from the Ma. Ma is Chachma. Chachma share in substance of a Seir. The Chachma, the Madre of Chachma is Meir. In the Madre of Chachma is Meir there in Sof, like they go in tiny period that. ולכן בשם מה יש מקיפים פנימיים, הבסיסה זה מה גוף, אז מקיפים פנימיים, מה בעצם פנימיים, מצד הניסה בצלם, לא משבר פנס מקיף. Okay, so he brings in another point here, another point is פנימיוס מקיף דמה and פנימי דמה. מצד הניסה, מצד אחד מה it's considered פנימיוס. Because שם מה, I mean, again, it's like relative to what? Relative to the madrigas above it. It's pnimi. Pnimi means a type of oil which is more internalized. It means l'fiach hamakabel. But mitzad sheni, the mitzad eres ha'asev shosher by he has makif. So that's a described what Shema is. Mishkan, so Mishkan also has both of these parts. Mishkan or Mishkan, a clear Mishkan. Now, Makif and Pnimi. Nimtza, the Mishkan, who Shema. See, but it's another way to explain to another sign that Mishkan is connected to Shema, just like Shema. There's Pnimius and the Makif, so the same find the Mishkan also bottom. The Riyah Mishkan, Mishkan, Makif and Pnimi.
So what's all about the Chokhmah? It's not clear. It's twisting here. So what has to do with Chokhmah in here?
Because Ma comes from Chokhmah. Ma koyach ma is really chachma. So that aspect, there's an aspect of chachma which is gila and stuff, which is makif. But the poel, it's nimsha b'pnimis. So they have both sides. So that's only about chachma. Chachma is really ma is usually chachma. Nimtza the mishkan shema. So the mishkan is shema. Ve'akov agam mizbeach shemban. The korban within the Mishkan Gufa, the korban is brought on the Mizbeach. What is Mizbeach? Mizbeach represents Shemban. What is one of the differences between Shema and Shemban is that Shema is Mashpia, Milmayla Lamata. Shemban, that's the Allah's man. That's the Allah Milmata man. That's what the Mizbeach is. Mizbeach is a place where we burn things. Burn means Allah Milmata. Mishkan or Shema, this is Kachal. So that's the function of the Mishkan. So from all this we see that in order of the korbanos to be proper, need to have the gil of Shema, like I said earlier. There has to be tshuva, which is the gil, which is Mgal Shema. Achshav, tefillah connected with the tiknum. Okay, all this is the way it describes the Avedas korbanos and the Mishkan, the Mikdash. What happens now? The tefillah is not needing tiknum. So also, we have like this. In our tefillah, akobas nefesh habamis. In our davening experience, which is the korban, to meet tefillah is connected to medium tiknum. Tefillah was instituted to instead of the korbanos. Means there's also the concept of korban tefillah. And because in tefillah zakov nefesh habamis, we elevate, we sacrifice nefesh habamis. Akov tzarich zakav haMizbeach. The aqava within the person, the aqava of nefesh habayim is connected to the mizbeach. What's the mizbeach in the chitzenius halev? The mizbeach, it says that all the klei mishkan are paralleled in the body of the person. Mizbeach is connected to halev. In that gufa, he says mizbeach hapnimi in the chitzenius halev. Mizbeach chitz, mizbeach hapnimi in the chitzenius halev, pnimis halev. So the two parts of the two types of mizbeach chitz and mizbeach pnimi, which is karbonis and keteiros, is pnimis halev and chitzenius halev. But going back to what we're saying here is b'chlal mizbeach halev. So the mizbeach is the heart, and that's what the in the heart. This is where the whole drama of the korban of the nefesh habayim happens, right? In the seres avir, in the heart. Be inspired, inspired to connect emotional with the heart. To the Ebershter, Shazel, Shekos of the Lord B'chalavatchem, Ezavet Shebelev is Tefillah. The Gemara says, what is the Avet Shebelev? It's Tefillah. Tefillah is connected with the lev, with the heart. The Eden Avet Shebelev and it says Avir. What's Avet Shebelev? That's mitzvahs that related to the heart. What the main two mitzvahs of heart is about after Savayla Kecha and after Karatir, Avenir. So in a tefillah. So this is what happens in davening. In davening, the goal of davening is to be inspired to be in a state of avavir. Right? They said so that creates the beer of nefesh habayim, the behemoth shebetecha adam, the nefesh habayim, in avodah Hashem now in tefillah, in mokum korban stikna. What happens? To davening, we elevate the nefesh habayim. The person is inspired in davening. To have avas Hashem and Yos Hashem's emotions get very strongly inspired and connected to the Ebershter, so that elevates the nefesh habayim. Nefesh habayim should be also consumed by that emotional love and awe of the Ebershter. The Meile, so that's the bill. Where do we see in davening? In davening, we also, it says just the korban had to be in the Migdash. Where do we see that in our davening? That's we talk to Mishkan Migdash. But Philo in Mashtak is that by Sakneses. That was the Gemara. It says the Gemara says in the Shmeitzah Shulchan that that's very important to daven dafka in shul. Sakneses nika Migdash. Sakneses is called Migdash Ma'at. When Shomar has our positive, Eila Migdash Ma'at. Eila Batikneses, what the Midrashis. No, the davening in shul is compared to bringing a korban and Beis Hamikdash daven. There's a small difference that Beis Hamikdash is not allowed to bring korbanos outside of Beis Hamikdash. Davening could happen also in chutz from shul, but the Gemara says ain't tefillah shalom lishmas elo beis hakneses. There's a special way of achieve with davening wants to achieve dafka in shul. Why? Shamaki with the beis hakneses noisen ezav v'siyah b'dashir yochal lifal abir nefesh habayim. The Beis HaKnesset, davening in shul gives a special power, just like in Beis HaMikdash. Like I said, the ultimate, so again, it's interesting. It's an interesting the way you learn Shat. When we say to us, means the person has as the Eibishter for some things he needs. So you got a shul and he daven that, then the Eibishter listens to you. So that is nishmas in the simple sense of tefillah. But Chassidish Pshat and tefillah is bir nefesh habayim. Davening is also it's not a steer, but davening is a time when we mavar nefesh habayim. Ain't also nishmas. When does he achieve the goal of tefillah, which is bir nefesh habayim, is only with Hakneses. Okay, so that finished one point. But now it says another point.
I'm sorry. Just before you go further, so Mike with the Bet Knesset, it doesn't say how.
How does the Mishkan do? Well, same thing. Just the Kabbalah Beis Hamikdash. Kabbalah is Beis Hamikdash because it's in the Beis Hamikdash, which is Gilu Shema. So that gives the Kabbalah the ability to be elevated Noiga. It doesn't say how either. Just describes the fact that through that avodah you reach.
Here it's talking about the makif. It does not talk about Shem Ma Upan. So what you're saying, Shem Ma is makif?
Yeah, he just said Shema gives the Yosever. The makif of Shema, that's the Yosever. It's either in Mishkan Migdash or it's in Shul.
How is the makif helping the?
What do you mean how?
In other words, the fact that you have another or makif. So what? So I mean, how does it help the korbanot to be accepted, or whatever, or the tefillah should be accepted? What does it have the quality of makif? Is it because it's from the higher energy? It's like we said that behema is shorish too. Fine, that makes sense. Is it the same concept?
No, that's not the same concept. No, it's two different points. One is the shares. That's already the result of the bill. The question is, what gives us the koyach to be mevarer? How could we talk about mevarer the behema? How do we have the power to be mevarer the behema?
Actually, there we said that the behema is mevarer the shogeg, the.
Yeah, no, that's right.
So, but here,
how do we have the power? The question is, how do we have the power to reach that? So he says that the power to reach this is to koyach ma. We have a special influx of a gila likus in us that gives us this power to be mavar nafsh ha'amis. So that's koyach, the koyach hasevev. That's called shema, and we get to tshuva. That's what he said. The kitzah. It said the kids on top. It's Shabakov, and that's true. What is the power? What is the power to elevate? Power is for Shema. That Shema elevates the Nefesh Habahamis, and in turn, it's Mamsham Shema. But it's not Mamsham Shema. It's Mamsham the opposite. It's Mamshich the
two.
that was the toy. Okay. It's two different things. The Shema gives is koyach to mevar ban. It's a memel. It's mile in a way. Toy is even higher than ma sometimes. This a component. So that's what describe what happens in a way. That's a component. Sorry.
Okay. Shkoyach.